The Minimax class had a runaway winner in Telford's James Theodore last month, but one driver looking to claw back the advantage this month will be Joe Bullen. We followed Joe to a meeting with his investors, Lekla Coatings, to see how he keeps them up to date with his performances and to ask a few questions.
Joe Bullen came third in the S1 National Championships in cadets in 2004 before moving into the Junior TKM class, in which he qualified third for the final of round 1 of the British Championship held last month. For the Motors TV series, Joe is racing in the Minimax class and last month finished comfortably in second place, having started from P9 on the grid. Lekla Coatings have invested in Joe's racing future, and this month he met with company representatives to discuss his performance at the first round.
I started 9th and got up to about 6th after the first corner, and then by the end of the second lap I was in second.
After the meeting, I interviewed Joe and started by asking how he felt about his result at round 1.
I'm new to this class, so I was really pleased with my result at the first round. I'm really looking forward to racing in the reverse grid. It should be pretty exciting.
James set a lightning pace at the first round, a new lap record for the club circuit, and won by nearly 6 seconds. Now, how do you set about tackling that sort of advantage?
Whether he won by 0.1 of a second or 6 seconds, it's irrelevant now. There's only one championship point separating us. And he had a clear track from lap 1 last time. He shouldn't have that this time. After a Motors TV race last time, we raced in the club championship round the following day, and I won by nearly 6 seconds that day. So I think the viewers could see a different result this time around.
So what's your target for this month?
I think my target will have to be to come out of this round wearing the number 1 on the kart. That's got to be my target.
Grid positions for Minimax. Jamie Fegan and Ross Anderson make their first appearances in the championship. Chris Clayton's on P3 driving the Junior Ginetta Championship this year. Jack Vanderpump's up from Waltham Abbey. Then comes Tom Durbridge and Roy Anderson 5 and 6. Then Matt Cresswell, Ryan Longley for Focal Point on P8. On P9 is Joe Hilling for Jenner Contractors. Then comes Nick Barnes. Matt Isherwood for Plumbase on 11. Then comes the Asphalt Works kart of Roy Gill. Stephen Bathu for Bryden Homes 1 at Glenagos Park in April. Then comes Liam Marley on 14. Sinead Gress, she should be on fire in the Caspian Flame Grill kart. Then Joe Charlton on 16. 17 is Josephine Ferrada for Advanced Composite. Then comes Matthew Gibson, Joe Bullen and James Theodore at the back of the field. Theodore the championship leader. The Minimax class then for ages 11 to 16. If you weren't with us at the start of the programme, just to remind you that the championship leaders in this racing format here for the Motors TV Ultimate Karting Challenge have to start at the back of the field. It's a 9-round championship, and every month the championship leader has to start last. We're on board with Ryan Longley. Contact between Vanderpump and Roy Anderson. Anderson just slips through. Typical frantic start up into turn 1. Theodore just slipping down the outside of a couple there. You can see the Motors TV Championship leader graphics on his kart. There's been contact out of shot between the two girls, Ben.
So the two girls knocking each other off before they got to the first corner. Sinead Gress and Josephine Ferrada getting together. Josephine ending up at my feet. Sinead Gress carrying on, but Josephine's now got her kart going and she's back on circuit.
Thanks for that, Ben. Well, Josephine Ferrada in the wars again. Last month she raced most of the race with a front right puncture. She still managed to hold on for 4th place. She was 3rd going into the last lap, actually going down to the final turn, and was deposed by Matthew Gibson that day. So we see a little bit of contact between Gibson and kart 25 Ross Anderson there. Motors TV graphics on the kart denotes the championship leader. That's James Theodore as Bullen gets a bit racy up the inside of Morley. Morley chops his nose off. The whole field streamed down to Dunlop for the second time. That's the Advanced Composites kart of Josephine Ferrada. She's pretty lonely back there, nobody to play with. Theodore there, the one kart, the championship leader, is already up into the top 10, not even 2 laps gone. And Bullen, who is second in the championship, we saw him interviewed earlier, who was hoping to take some points off James Theodore this weekend, has got it all to do because he's got 3 or 4 karts between himself and the championship leader. The championship leader's kart is easy to spot for you. It's the kart, the blue and yellow Motors TV graphic package on. Gap between Roy the Boy Anderson out front and Vanderpump in second, 0.64. Warning flags just been issued to Sinead Gress, kart number 7. I'm assuming that's for the incident with Josephine Ferrada earlier on. We're back on board with Ryan Longley. Apologise for the poor quality of the picture break up there. Here is the championship leader though, Roy Anderson. Had him tipped this weekend for a big performance, and he's not letting me down. You can see Sinead Gress has made up 3 or 4 positions towards the back of the field, but she's got a lot of work to do from there. Not as much as Josephine Ferrada though. The two girls coming together through turn 1. Ferrada coming off worse. If we're lucky, we might get treated to a girl fight later as Theodore goes up the inside of Joe Charlton. That's for 7th place. Number 10 is going to be ticked off his list sometime soon, and he is. Theodore through to 6. Charlton looks like he's trying to go around the outside. I don't think Theodore's going to allow that somehow. Should look up the inside of Longley now. Doesn't do. That's going to cost Theodore some time as they come out of Dunlop down paddock, especially as Longley's now defending. Gap between Anderson and Theodore, 2.61 seconds. Joe Bullen's got 4 karts between himself and the championship leader as Theodore slips up the inside for another place, up the inside of Longley. There he is, back on board with Ryan Longley. It's the first part of Luna. Charlton goes through as well, later round the lap. Charlton's put out a bit of a gap. 10 is Roy Gill. Sam's caught up with an interested spectator. Sam?
I'm on the grid with Matthew Creswell's mum, Joanna. How's he getting on?
He's doing great. He's keeping his own. He's about 10th at the moment, I think.
Was he nervous before he went out?
Yeah, very nervous. I think I'm more nervous than he is, though.
You can race karts in the UK from 8 years of age, and there are circuits that allow you to practice from 5 years old. If you want more information, what you need is a free DVD. Call the number on the screen now. Call Graham Smith personally at the Association of British Kart Clubs, and he'll send you a free DVD of all the information you need. I'll repeat this number in a minute or so. Go and grab yourself a pen and paper. Ben's got some information about James Theodore.
I spoke to James before the start of the race, and James Theodore said to me, quite surprisingly actually, yeah, from 20th I'll get to first, and look at that, up to 3rd position.
Yeah, I spoke to James earlier in the day as well, Ben, and he was certainly very confident as he slips up the inside of Vanderpump now for 2nd. So James Theodore, the internationally recognisable and famous James Theodore these days, through to 2nd place. But for how long? Vanderpump has a look up the inside, nearly takes the championship leader off through Dunlop hairpin. That may have cost Vanderpump a position. It has. Fegan drops through to 3rd, but not for long. Vanderpump fights straight back. Great racing. The 2 kart of Joe Bullen going through the picture in 6th place. That's Roy Gill, number 10. He's got some serious coaching assistance this weekend in the shape of Ben Hanley, former World Championship competitor. 19 Vanderpump and Theodore getting together in Dunlop. And I don't think that would have gone down too well in the Theodore camp if he'd taken off the championship leader. Fegan takes advantage down the inside. And you'll see Vanderpump fight straight back here in the left-hander, exactly what he should do. There's Bullen, number 2. Saw him interviewed earlier on. Got a bit of work to do to get back to Theodore. Still 2 karts between him and Theodore, and that's 2 points, 1 point between each position. So the 7 kart was Janae Gress. Gap between Theodore and Bullen there, 2nd and 5th, 2.15 seconds. Not sure we made this clear earlier on, but I'm sure by now you've worked out the significance of the numbers on the karts. The numbers on the karts denote the championship positions of each driver. Number 1, of course, denoting the championship leader. And talking of which,
I'm on the hill with Helen Theodore. Helen, James is currently lying 2nd, starting from last. How are you feeling?
Oh, it's awful. It's a great race. I never expected him to come from, last on the grid, straight up to 2nd. He's worked hard, he's got through them nice and clean, and it's just a superb race.
Is he going to clinch the win?
I don't think so. I think, unfortunately, 15 laps this time. Yeah, he's fairly close, but he's not close enough quite to do it.
yeah, I'd have to agree with James's mum Helen there, as we see Joe Bullen up the inside for 4th. Roy the Boy Anderson, there he is out front. Theodore in 2nd, just put in some fast lap times in the last couple of laps to keep Theodore at bay. Talking of Joe Bullen though,
I'm with Ruth Bullen. Ruth, how's Joe getting on?
We didn't have a very good start. He was on the inside. There was a few of the outside guys that come across. There was a bit of a coming together, so he literally had to just sit there and bide his time to, but then started chopping through the traffic, and I'm really pleased with it so far. He's going really well.
yeah, Joe currently in 4th place, 2 places behind Theodore. Let's look at the race leader, Roy the Boy Anderson. Isn't there a Roy the Boy Brindley that plays poker? I'm sure there is. Get in touch with me, Roy. I'll put you in touch with Roy the Boy Anderson. You can sponsor him for the rest of the season. A few full houses against 3 of a kind, and there you go, instant sponsorship. Sam?
I'm on the grid with Simon Gill, Roy's dad. How's he doing?
He's doing very well, I think. He's come from 12th on the grid and he's now running in 5th. And he's about 3 tenths behind the number 1 kid, so we're pleased. We're pleased.
Is he going to win it?
I very much doubt it.
Sinead Gress puts in the fastest lap, 42.516. The bad girl that got a couple of warning flags earlier on. Last lap, Anderson from Theodore. That's the way it's going to finish. Sinead Gress, quite an interesting character. She started racing karts after attending the Cumbria Kart Club's Racing for Button scheme. We'll be giving you some information about that scheme later in the season. Meanwhile, though, it's Anderson that takes the win, and is he happy about that? He certainly is. Theodore's happy in second, no doubt. He started at the back of the field. Bullen's going to come through for third place. Here's that battle for the minor places that's headed by the Plum-based card of Matt Isherwood. Here's the official result then, the top 10. In Minimax, Roy Anderson takes the win. Cheeky little boy he is too. James Theodore, the championship leader, retains his championship lead, increases that lead by an extra point. He leads now by 2 from Joe Bullen, who joins him on the podium, followed in by Vanderpump Gill, Jamie Fegan. Sinead Gress took the fastest lap of the race, 42.516 through to 7th. Then comes Charlton Morley and Ross Anderson.
Joe, you had high hopes before this race. You finished third. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, we had a great race. We didn't have the best at starts, but after that I managed to chip through the traffic.
James, another fantastic race by you. You started last, you finished second. Do you feel if you had a few more laps you could have taken the win?
Well, Roy was going very well. He got to the front quick and pulled away. I managed to chip through the traffic as well as Joe, which was good for me. I'm really pleased that I finished second, and especially happy that I kept the number 1 place.
Roy, you started 6th, you finished first. How do you feel?
Well, it was a good race. I just had to get into the lead early. I knew that I couldn't get held up by traffic because I knew that James would have closed up dead quick, so I just got into the lead and got my head down, really.
Well, Roy Anderson had to withstand a lot of pressure there from James Theodore. Next up, after the break, is Ben with an interview with a very special guest. We'll see you then.